Ethan Cole looked out the large glass window of the shuttle as it approached the city of Trenor on planet Sura. The view was calm, with green skies and floating crystal towers, but his heart felt heavy. This was supposed to be a historic moment. Humanity had been invited to the Interstellar Peace Council. But deep inside, Ethan already knew things were not going to be easy. Dana Brooks sat beside him, flipping through her notes. Her eyes moved quickly, but her face showed worry. She had studied alien cultures for years, but nothing prepared her for the cold welcome they had received when they landed. Leo Morgan sat at the back, quiet and watchful. He was not just a military advisor. He was a quiet shield, a man who had seen too many surprises in deep space. He didn't trust easily, and he didn't like the way the council treated the Earth team so far. They entered the grand chamber. The council hall was filled with hundreds of alien representatives. Some floated, some glowed, some had eyes on their arms or faces like stone. But what they all had in common was the way they looked at the humans like they were children who had sneaked into a room meant for kings. Ethan stepped forward and gave the opening statement. His voice was calm. He spoke about peace, shared growth, and the wish to understand each other. He spoke of Earth's desire to be part of the Galactic family. There was a pause, and then soft laughter came from one corner of the chamber. An elder ambassador from the Saltari Empire, who looked like he was carved from golden rock, stood up. His voice echoed across the room. Your kind is new, your reach is small. You have war in your blood and ego in your mind. Lay down your weapons. If you want peace, you must earn the right to speak among us. The words were harsh, but his tone was worse. Like he was talking to animals. Dana felt her throat tighten. She had heard cold words before, but this felt different. This wasn't just disrespect. It was something deeper, as if humanity was nothing more than noise in a room of music. Ethan didn't look angry. He didn't shout. He only took a slow breath and looked around the room. We came in peace, he said. But peace is not made by stepping on others. Another alien voice joined in. A tall creature from the Drexari Empire, whose body shimmered like oil, spoke with a sneer. You want to be equal? Then remove your ships from the neutral zones. You humans build like you plan for war. Leo stepped forward now, voice low but firm. We build because we were alone. We stayed quiet for decades. We learned, we grew, we asked for respect, not permission. The council leader, a being made of soft light, raised its hand to calm the room. Let us not lose the goal of this meeting. Peace takes time, Ethan nodded. Then we must agree to speak with respect, not as rulers to servants, but as equals. Silence. Long, heavy silence, then the Saltari ambassador laughed again. Equality? With Earth? Leave your pride at the door, human? Ethan looked at Dana. She gave a small nod. They both knew. He turned back to the council and spoke with a voice clear as glass. Then we withdraw. Until we are seen as equals, Earth will not sit at this table. The room froze. Nobody had ever walked out of the Peace Council before. Not even the smallest planets. It was unthinkable. Ethan turned and walked away. Dana followed. Leo paused a moment, scanning the room. His eyes met the Saltari ambassadors. No words. Just a long, knowing stare. They left the chamber without a word. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Later that evening, in the quiet of their ship, Dana sat with her hands folded. Do you think they'll call us back? Ethan didn't answer right away. He stared at the stars outside. They'll laugh first. Then they'll wait. Then maybe they'll realize. Leo spoke from the shadows. Or they'll test us. Ethan nodded. Slowly, then they'll see who we really are. On planet Sura, the alien leaders whispered among themselves. They didn't believe Earth had power. They thought humanity was weak and full of pride. But deep down, some of them felt something they didn't expect. And for the first time, they wondered if they had made a mistake. News spread quickly. Across star systems and space stations, the message was short but loud. Earth had walked out. The human delegation had left the Interstellar Peace Council. Many laughed. On the news screens of the Saltari Empire, talk hosts joked about it. One of them said, "The little blue planet thinks it's strong now. How cute." In the Drexari Empire, soldiers smiled at the report. They believed it showed human weakness. They thought Earth was just proud and afraid, but back on Earth, things were different. In a quiet room in New Geneva, Ethan stood in front of the Earth Defense Assembly. Men and women of science, law, and defense listened to him. Some looked nervous, others calm. Behind Ethan, Dana stood holding her notes. Leo leaned against the wall with arms crossed. Ethan spoke clearly. "We asked for respect. We didn't get it. We stood up and walked away. That is not failure, that is dignity." The room was silent for a few seconds, then someone clapped. Others followed. Soon the room was full of soft applause. Earth was proud. Outside, in cities and towns, people gathered in parks and homes, watching the news. They didn't panic, they didn't cry. They stood together, strong and quiet. Leo met with the defense team later that day. He shared plans for quiet alerts across Earth's space fleet, not war. Just readiness. Ships were to be placed near the neutral zones. No weapons aimed. No threats made. Just a message. Earth was not afraid. Dana worked with her network of cultural contacts. She sent calm messages to minor alien nations who were not part of the major empires. These were smaller planets, often ignored, often silent. But Dana knew. They listened. One night, while checking her secure messages, Dana found a strange one. It came from a minor faction known as the Tavari, a peaceful race of thinkers and builders. The message was short. "We watched, we saw courage. We wish to talk," Dana smiled. She showed it to Ethan. He read it twice and nodded. "We don't need the big ones to hear us. We just need the honest ones." Meanwhile, the Saltari Empire's council met behind closed doors. One of the generals said, "They'll come back, they always do. No one survives alone." Another leader added, "If they don't, we can crush their trade. They'll learn." But not everyone agreed. A young diplomat from the outer Saltari moons raised a concern. What if they are not bluffing? What if Earth has changed more than we know? He was ignored. On a deep space station, a group of alien traders watched Earth's news channels quietly. One trader, who had visited Earth 5 years ago, said, "They are not the same. I saw cities grow in days. I saw machines think like men. They are not weak." But his friends didn't believe him. Back on Earth, Ethan, Dana, and Leo met in a quiet room. They sat around a round table with tea and small snacks. Dana was the first to speak. "They will test us, maybe not with weapons. Maybe with trade or lies," Leo nodded. "Let them, we won't blink." Ethan looked outside the window at the stars. "They think silence means weakness. Let's show them what silence really means." 2 days later, an alien scout ship entered Earth space, trying to scan one of Earth's industrial moons. It got close and was warned gently to turn away. The ship ignored the warning. Within moments, it was surrounded by unmanned defense drones. The ship turned around quickly, frightened. No shots were fired, no harm done. But the message was clear. The pilot returned to his leaders and told them everything. He told them about strange energy shields, about fast-moving machines that didn't speak but understood everything. He was nervous. His leaders laughed. "Earth is playing tricks," they said. "They want us to fear them." In truth, Earth had grown. In silence, while the galaxy talked, Earth listened. While others ruled, Earth built. While the big empires debated, Earth learned from the small ones. Ethan didn't want war. Dana didn't want pride. Leo didn't want fear. But none of them wanted Earth to be looked down upon either. That night, in a quiet message sent through secret channels, Dana reached out to the Tavari again. "Let's talk. You believed in our heart. We believe in yours," a reply came back quickly. "We do not fear your silence. We respect it. Come visit." As Earth's leaders planned for peace with smaller allies, the major empires continued to mock. But deep inside, in hidden rooms, some of their people began to wonder, why did Earth walk away so calmly? Why no anger? Why no begging? And slowly, fear began to mix with curiosity. Maybe Earth was not loud because it was weak. Maybe it was quiet because it no longer needed to shout. The Saltari Empire moved quickly. After the humans left the peace talks, they started building pressure. The Empire called for a trade ban against Earth. They told other nations not to sell or buy anything from the humans. They expected Earth to panic. But Earth didn't panic. Ethan Cole sat in a private meeting with Earth's Trade Council. Dana Brooks joined him, her notes spread across the table. Leo Morgan stood near the door, always alert. One of the council members asked, "What? Now?" "They've cut us off," Ethan spoke calmly. "Then we trade with those who still listen." Not every alien nation had joined the Saltari ban. Some were quiet, some were afraid. But a few, like the Tervari, were curious. Dana had been speaking to the Tervari leaders daily. Their people didn't believe in power through fear. They believed in growth through sharing. They asked to meet in person. Ethan and Dana traveled quietly to a small Tervari station. It was simple but beautiful. Lights glowed like stars. The air smelled of spices and flowers. The Tervari looked like tall silver birds, soft in voice but strong in ideas. One of them, named Velen, greeted them. "You left the talks, but you didn't leave the hope." Dana smiled. "Respect means more than words." "We couldn't stay where there was none," Velen nodded. "We watched. We understand." "Many others pretend. You didn't?" The humans and Tervari signed. A quiet trade deal, not big but enough. Enough to send a message. Meanwhile, back in space, something strange happened. A small Drexari scout ship passed near Earth's outer moon. What it saw shocked the pilot. He expected silence. Instead, he saw large factories floating in orbit, working day and night. He saw ships moving like birds, too fast for the eye to follow. He saw machines that looked alive. He recorded everything and rushed back. The report reached the Drexari Council. Some laughed, but others were worried. How did they build so much? "So fast?" asked one elder. "They must have help," another said. Or, a young one whispered, "They were always this ready. We just didn't look," but no one wanted to admit that. It was easier to believe Earth was showing off. That Earth was bluffing. In truth, Earth had been working hard in silence for years. After the first contact with alien life, Earth knew it. Had to grow fast, so it learned, it watched, it copied. And then it created. Leo Morgan had led quiet missions to study old alien tech. Earth engineers improved it. Earth scientists trained AI that could think, learn, and act fast. In secret. Labs on Mars, new defense systems were built. On moons, they built smart factories that needed no rest. Ethan had guided leaders to keep the progress hidden. He knew too much attention could bring trouble. But now, trouble was already here. And Earth was ready. Back in New Geneva, the Earth Defense Assembly met again. This time, the mood was different. A young officer showed images from space. "Factories, fleets, energy fields. We have more than they know," she said. "But we must stay calm," Ethan nodded. "We will not attack. We will not shout, but we will stand." Dana shared news of her talks. "The Tervari are with us. And now, 3 other small factions want to meet. They saw the way we left the talks. They want to know us." Leo leaned forward. "That's our strength. Let the big empires laugh. The small ones are listening." 1 week later, Ethan and Dana traveled again. This time to a planet called Yoval, a small world of green rivers and soft mountains. The people there had no army. But they had strong ideas. Yoval leaders met with the humans under a crystal dome. "You want allies?" one of them asked. Ethan smiled. "We want respect. And friends who understand what that means." The leader touched his heart. "Then you are welcome." Back in the Saltari Empire, the news of Earth's new deals reached the council. They were not happy. "They're moving too fast," one general said. "Cutting deals with weak planets." "But weak becomes strong when many stand together," another said. The Empire leader shook his head. "Earth is still alone. The others are small. They have no bite. But in the markets of space, change had already begun. More traders started opening secret paths to Earth. They wanted human tech. They wanted Earth's clean power systems and fast engines. They didn't care about old Empire rules. They cared about progress. On Earth, things stayed quiet. No speeches, no warnings. Just steady work. Ethan, Dana, and Leo met again one night. They were tired but hopeful. Dana showed a list. 8 new minor nations want talks. They saw our ships rescue a neutral colony hit by raiders last week. Ethan nodded. Actions speak louder than peace talks. Leo added, they may try something soon. A test, we need to be ready. They all agreed. The stars outside looked peaceful. But peace was never just the absence of war. Peace, Ethan thought, was something you had to build, slowly, carefully, and sometimes in silence, and Earth had learned how to build in silence. It started with a whisper. A colony on the far edge of Drexari space sent out a call for help. Raiders had attacked. Fires burned, families ran, and no one from the Peace Council came. They argued and delayed, as always. But then something unexpected happened. A fleet of human ships appeared, silent, fast, strong. They moved in quickly and without noise. Raiders were stopped, not with destruction, but with smart traps and light weapons. No civilians hurt, no buildings lost. The colony was saved. The people of the colony stood outside and watched the human ships fly overhead. One child waved. A human pilot waved back. Someone recorded it. That video went across the stars. Millions saw it. And for the first time, they saw Earth not as weak or proud, but as kind, as brave, as ready. Back in New Geneva, Ethan Cole watched the video play over and over on a screen. Dana sat beside him with a small smile. Leo stood at the back, arms crossed as always. Ethan looked at them both. That wave was not planned. Dana shook her head. It didn't have to be. It was real. That's why it matters. In the days that followed, messages came from across space. Not from the great empires, but from students, traders, and workers. Messages of thanks. Messages of hope. Ethan read one message out loud. You didn't have to come, but you did. Thank you. Even on worlds where Earth had no friends, the people began to whisper. Maybe humans were not what the Empire said they were. Maybe Earth had changed. In the capital city of the Saltari Empire, the council held an emergency meeting. They're gaining sympathy, one elder said, even from our own people. They should not have been in that colony, another growled. But they saved it, someone else answered, and we did nothing. The room went silent. One young Saltari diplomat named Varek stood up. His hands shook slightly, but his voice was clear. Maybe they don't want to lead. Maybe they just want to stand. That is harder than it looks. No one answered him. Back on Earth, Dana received a message from 3 alien diplomats. They were young, from powerful empires. They asked to meet. Quietly. She met them in a hidden space station, far from cameras and eyes. They wore cloaks and spoke in soft voices. We watched the raid video, one said. It made us question things. We were told humans are dangerous, another added. But now we wonder. Are our leaders afraid of your power or your heart? Dana didn't smile. She simply said, both, but we don't want fear. We want peace. The meeting was short, but it left a mark. The young diplomats returned to their homes changed. They told their friends. Some believed them. Some did, and single quotes to. Meanwhile, Earth's AI defense systems kept running silent checks. Every move was watched, every border scanned. Leo made sure of that. He sat in a control room deep under the surface of Mars, watching tiny dots move on screens. He didn't speak much. But when he did, people listened. They will test us, he said. Soon, we must be ready, not angry. In the galactic trade markets, something new began. More traders wanted Earth goods, not just weapons or tech. They wanted books, music, art, human things. Simple things. Ethan walked through a market one day on a neutral world. He saw a young alien girl playing a human song on a small music box. He smiled. It was the same song his daughter used to love. He bought the music box and gave it back to the girl. She looked up and said, "Thank you, sir." He paused. "How do you know that word?" She smiled. "I learned it from a human book." That night, Ethan wrote in his journal, "Respect is not demanded, it is lived." In the Saltari Council, trouble was growing. Protests began. Small at first, but louder each day. The people wanted change. They asked, "Why are we not like Earth? Why do we fear when we could listen?" In private, some leaders began to ask the same questions. One night, Leo returned to New Geneva. He met with Ethan and Dana under the old Star Dome. "A rogue group hit one of our colonies," he said. "We stopped them. Clean, fast, no damage." Ethan nodded. "Any response?" Leo nodded back. "Everyone saw it, live feed. We didn't plan it, but now they know." Dana looked at them both. "What now?" Ethan took a deep breath. "We stay the same. No pride, no fear. We keep showing who we are." Above them, the stars looked brighter than usual. Or maybe, for the first time, they were just looking closely enough to see Dot, and somewhere in the darkness, others were watching too. Dot, not with anger, but with respect. The Saltari Empire was angry. Their leaders met in dark rooms, shouting about Earth's growing power. They could not believe humans were building allies. They could not accept the quiet strength Earth showed. Saltari fleets moved to block trade routes. They stopped ships carrying human goods. They tried to isolate Earth to force them to bend, but Earth stayed calm. They sent no fleets to fight. They did not yell or threaten. Instead, they showed power in other ways. Ethan Cole stood in the command room of the Earth Defense Assembly. A large map showed the galaxy and the movement of ships. Dana Brooks stood beside him, watching. Leo Morgan came in, his face serious. "The Saltari blockade is tightening." Leo said, "They want to starve us out?" Ethan nodded. "Then we find new paths. New friends." Dana added, "We are in talks with 5 more minor nations. They want to help." Leo looked at the map. "Good, we must be ready for more tests." The tests came sooner than expected. A group of unknown ships attacked a human colony near the border. They were fast and silent, but Earth's defense system was ready. Within minutes, human ships surrounded the attackers. They did not fire first. They blocked all escape routes. Then, without destruction, they forced the attackers to surrender. The attack was live-streamed. Across many systems, aliens watched. The clean and precise defense. No unnecessary violence. No cruelty. Ethan watched the stream with a heavy heart. "War is never the answer," he said softly. Dana nodded. "But strength is needed to keep peace." The Saltari Empire was shocked. Their own people began to question their leaders. Why did the humans fight with such care? Why did they avoid killing? A message came from a young Saltari diplomat named Varek. He asked to meet secretly with the humans. Ethan agreed. They met on a neutral station. Varek was nervous but honest. "Your people are strong and kind," he said. "We fear our leaders. They want power, not peace." Dana replied, "We want respect, and peace that lasts." Varek nodded. "I will try to help, but change is slow." Back on Earth, Ethan, Dana, and Leo planned their next moves. They knew the galaxy was watching. "We cannot show weakness," Leo said. "But we must not lose our values," Ethan agreed. "We lead by example." The people of Earth were united. They worked harder. They helped minor planets. They shared knowledge and aid. Alien traders began to bring goods from Earth to places the empires ignored. Human culture spread quietly but surely. The great empires, once proud and sure, began to crack. Their leaders argued. Their people protested. In a small market on a distant planet, a young alien child played a human song on a flute. Nearby, an elder smiled. "The humans changed us," he said quietly. "Not with war, but with hope." On Earth, Ethan stood under the stars with Dana and Leo. "We still have a long way," Ethan said. "But we walk it together." Dana looked up. "And we do not walk alone," Leo smiled. "The galaxy is listening now." And the galaxy was beginning to change. The Peace Council sent a message to Earth. It was formal and polite. They said sorry. They wanted the humans back at the table. Ethan Cole read the message quietly. Dana and Leo were with him. "We won't come back," Ethan said. "Not like before," Dana nodded. "Respect can't grow where there is insult," Ethan typed a short reply. Respect cannot be bought with words alone. It must be earned. Across many planets, alien citizens spoke about Earth. They protested in their cities. They asked their leaders to change. They wanted peace with humans. Young diplomats from many empires started to push for new talks. They wanted fairness. They had seen Earth's strength and heart, but Earth did not rush to join. They stayed distant, building bonds with smaller, honest nations. They focused on true friendship and trust. The great empires began to break inside, leaders argued. Their people wanted change. The old ways no longer worked. On Earth, Dana watched the sunrise. She stood on a hill overlooking a quiet town. The sky was soft pink and gold. She thought about how far humanity had come. From being looked down on to being listened to. Leo came beside her. "We didn't need war," he said softly. "Just dignity." Ethan joined them. "We showed the galaxy who we are. Not with weapons, but with honor." They stood together, watching the new day. Far away, the stars shone brighter. And for the first time, many saw Earth not as a small blue dot, but as a beacon of hope. The galaxy was changing. And humanity was ready for whatever came next. I have saved this in a new document for you. Would you like me to share the document link or continue with anything else?